First, I hope you're all keeping well and safe. I think that makes some prawns, or if you're in Canada, then shrimps. So the same thing. So I will marinate that. And what I've done on that is I'll show you the marination. I'll marinate the prawns, but I also did an identical marination last night because normally I keep it for 3 or 4 hours. So I will then basically after that, I'll grill the prawns first, sorry, and then do the yassin. And then once the grilled prawns are out, I will sizzle it and also do the ending bit of it. What I'm doing on here is putting some oil on the side there. And once you clean this, so I'm just brushing the grill. I have to say one thing, if it's on a good day and you do this in a barbecue, it is amazing taste. Unfortunately, weather's not that predictable here. So I'm just doing it in a grill, but it's good enough. It still works pretty well. Now, I would shake off, although you don't sort of take out everything on the thing, but shake off the bits where you can, as much as one can. And some bits are fine. It's just you've got too much bits. It's not, you know.
It's pasty.
It's a bit more pasty then. And I wouldn't worry that, or will it help? Because as you can see, the color difference between that and what I marinated yesterday is amazing, because it's cooked already whilst it's marinated, and it's got the color, and it's exactly the same prawns, and trust me, it's exactly the same recipe. So nothing's changed. Okay, so that we preheated the grill.
What temperature is the oven at?
So it's 200. So I don't know the Canadian equivalent would be, but yeah. And then what I'm trying to do is leave this open a little bit, only because I need the direct sort of, at the moment the light is shut. It's important that I get the direct red heat on it. It takes around 4 minutes each side. So what you need to do is try and shred off those bits if you can, as much as one can. Those bits.
And you can see now the oil is not even coming on.
And it's fine if some of it is stuck in there. And that's why I said, you know, things like the tablespoon or a couple of tablespoons of oil you put in is more or less irrelevant. It just gets shakes off in here as well as on the actual. So if I was guessing in all of this, the amount of oil that would have been absorbed in this is less than 1 teaspoon. So you can see quite a bit of shake, and then another 3 minutes or so. What it's looking like at the moment. As I say, you could eat it like this, but I'm going to, after the yassin, I'm going to do a seasoning on it. I use this, but actually any frying pan is fine. And I'm going to let it heat for a while, a little bit. The spoon's gone. So.
And with the prawns, you can see it's all dripping off.
Just one, I've used 1 tablespoon of oil, no more than that, because it gets so. So put in the onions to sizzle in there. And then at the same time, I'm putting the prawns. Now, one of the reasons I'm sizzling this is the rest of the bits then gets even thinner. So it sort of comes out on the onions a little bit, so rather than stick on there. Right. Let's say you can use any frying pan really, so I just use this because it's actually easier to serve on this. So just let it
Just say 1 tablespoon is just about enough oil. Don't put more than that, because you can see that otherwise it'll get a little bit soggy and oily.
Did you put anything on the pan before the oil? Somebody's
No,
just
I
asked.
didn't. I just basically cleaned it with the oil a little bit, but then rinsed it out. So
Okay.
nothing at all on the pan. This is done literally, and then basically I would just, yeah, so that's basically there, and then garnish that with a little bit of coriander. And then take it to the table. And I think you asked on how you eat this. I'm just going to do very quick, very simple, which I'm sure everybody does the same way if you do a simple salad. So I'm just going to cut the salad.
The other question is, how long were the prawns grilled for?
So they were grilled about 3 minutes each side. So maybe 4 minutes one side and then 3 minutes the other side. So approximately that. Sometimes the prawns cook, my magic knife, sorry. So sometimes the prawns cook much quicker. These are raw prawns. It's taken a total of, I would say, probably around 7 minutes. So 4 minutes first side, and then when you turn it around, it's 3 minutes.
But if they're cooked prawns, it's a lot
Then
quicker.
it's only 2 minutes. And in a barbecue, it would be about 2.5 minutes each side. That will be done.
Because you've also grilled it in the oven, then they shouldn't take much longer on the stove, right?
On the stove is literally 2 minutes or so. So the stove it's cooked already. So actually on the stove, I just put for 2 minutes, because whilst the onions are getting sauteed, the prawns are cooking with it. It's not to cook it, it's just to take the bits out, because actually without the bits, it tastes much nicer.
Right,
Bits absorbs into the prawn.
But you can eat it directly from the grill if you didn't want to sizzle it.
Okay.
Right, so very quickly do the salad. I'm sure this is no magic. Everybody does the same way if you do the basic salad. And what I'm going to do is just put it back in there. Pomegranate, about half a small pomegranate in there. Just a little. Right, so in terms of the dressing, I quite like it even without dressing, but if you like dressing, what I'm doing is I'm putting 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of oil. Just before I do that, I'm just going to pepper and some salt. So,
What was the second item in the apple cider vinegar?
Olive oil.
Olive oil, 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And pepper, and then dishes go hand in hand as a starter.